Andy Kaufman Is Me. First, I guess we could start about telling me the title, Is Me. Why?
Well, when we were editing, we found that Andy would say that all the time. People they thought that he was trapped in a lot of these different characters he would play up on stage.
Right. Yes.
And so one of his little catchphrases or refrains was, "No, this is really me. No, this is me. No, this is me." And so I think that the themes of the movie that we're exploring are the fact that there are many different sides to not only Andy, but to all of us.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's just a play on words to be like, in a movie that explores that sort of multi-dimensional sides to ourselves, it's sort of a fun play to be like, well, there's actually only one, but it's a joke.
Wonderful. We also spoke with one of your producers earlier saying that you worked with his family in order to get the documents and the research that was needed for the film. Tell me about something that you uncovered that was a surprise that people may not know.
I mean, I think there were many surprises in the 84 hours of audio that we had from Andy. 84 hours, and not to mention like probably 4 or 5 hours of some college performances of stage plays and things like that. But like I came into this movie thinking that perhaps there wasn't going to be a way to undo the riddle that was Andy, and that he was like maybe someone who was out of touch with reality. But in talking to his family and talking to his close friends, the biggest surprise while we were doing all these interviews was, no, there was a real person under there, and he could turn it off if he wanted to, and he could have a conversation just like you and I are having right now. And so like that grounded version of Andy, I don't think I had seen a lot of portrayed, and that's what I wanted to show to an audience.
It's powerful. Do you feel like Andy felt a little reserved? I mean, how am I going to say this? He was definitely an outstanding character, very strong personality. Do you think that there was a lot of pain under that? They do say that a lot of the best comedians have suffered the most with pain, depression, things like that.
Sure. I mean, I think that's unavoidable with anybody that is willing to go through like going up on a stage by themselves and talking to an audience and trying to entertain them. There's a certain masochism to that.
That's true.
But Andy had a lot of pain, but also a lot of joy and wonder in his life. I think that he spent a lot of time by himself, maybe feeling like an outsider as a younger person. And for one thing in particular, like that's what I think connected him to a lot of the TV shows that really hit him hard when he was younger. Like he loved Howdy Doody, was like his favorite TV personality of all time.
Sure.
So you could tell that he spent a lot of time by himself, but it formed who he was, and he made a great entertainer out of it.
That's true. Thank you very much for this interview. In closing, what would you like to say to the festival for the acceptance of Andy Kaufman Is Me?
I mean, I'm so excited that this movie is playing in New York. It's premiering in a big theater in Andy's backyard, in a community where he like made his bones as a comic, as a performer, as having friends in the area. So it just means a lot to be playing it here.
Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And speaking with
Matt Friend.
Matt, thank you for taking the time to speak.
Or maybe I am Andy Kaufman because he's alive.
What do you think? You think that that's been talked about for years?
No,
you think
he's not alive, but he was amazing.
Did we land on the moon?
We did land on the moon.
Okay. So you never know what's real, what's not. Anyway, so what brings you out for the documentary tonight? No comedies, you think?
Well, I'm a comedian, and I'm I guess a kind of a strange comedian, and I really admire the work of Andy Kaufman. I was just watching him on Letterman, and remember how he just didn't say anything for like 2 minutes. Only he could do that, and obviously, Jim Carrey's portrayal, and hugely inspired by him.
What was your favorite skit that Andy did that you really liked?
I think just his SNL stuff, like when he went. Not that's a weird answer, but I liked when he was like, what would he say again? Here I come to save the day. That was classic.
Yeah.
Him on Carson. Yeah.
So we know that you do impressions, obviously. Have you prepared an Andy Kaufman tonight?
And I'm so happy to be here today with you, talking now with you. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Not terrible. Probably the best one you'll see tonight.
Right on. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Thanks.
Speaking with.
My name is Tommy Avallone.
Nice. Tommy, what brings you out tonight?
I'm executive producer of the movie, and I wanted to show off my Andy Kaufman cologne.
What does it smell like?
It's milk and cookies.
Oh, it's milk and cookies. Why milk and cookies for Andy Kaufman?
Oh, because he would bring milk and cookies out at Carnegie Hall when he was done doing the show. And plus, he's a child at heart, you know.
That's true. That's true. So, EPing the film, what inspired you to invest in the film to make it reality?
I've always been a huge fan of Andy Kaufman ever since like his specials on Comedy Central. I ran for mayor when I was 20 years old, and I gave out milk and cookies. I have an Andy Kaufman tattoo. I'm always a big fan of Andy Kaufman, and he's a huge inspiration in my life. So,
what are you most looking forward to tonight for this doc?
How's it going?
I don't know. Maybe the drinking afterwards.
Sick. Would have Andy have liked that too?
Drinking, no. He would have liked ice cream.
Ice cream is good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for seeing me, and enjoy the premiere.
Thank you.
Speaking with
Ross Dinerstein, the producer.
Right on. Ross, Andy Kaufman, legendary, iconic comedian. What was your interest in making a documentary about Andy?
I've always admired his commitment to a bit, that he isn't afraid to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until it's no longer funny and becomes funny again. It's very in line with my personal brand of humor.
Yeah. So there's a lot of material on Andy. He's done a lot of different shows. Obviously, we saw Man on the Moon from Jim Carrey. What kind of research did you do to dig up stories from Andy's life to put in the doc?
Well, we were fortunate to be working with Andy's brother and his sister, and so we had access to archive that no one's ever seen before. Also, our producing partner on it was David Letterman, who was one of the very few people that knew that his big Jerry Lawler thing was a joke. It was about him and about 3 other people that knew.
Yeah. So if you look at comedians today, who do you think looks the most Andy Kaufman-esque? He's very specific. Do you see anyone that reminds you of Andy?
I have to say Sacha Baron Cohen reminds me of Andy. I think Zach Galifianakis does with his Between Two Ferns, where they're playing a hyper-real version of themselves. Tim and Eric, Nathan Fielder, but I don't think there's anyone that holds a candle to Andy.
That's quite a lineup, and when you mentioned all of them, the more I think about it, the more you're on point with that. In closing, what would you like to say to the Tribeca Festival for the acceptance of this film?
I love Tribeca. I've been very fortunate to have a lot of films here. It's always the best being here in New York, especially being here with this Andy Kaufman film. He was a New Yorker himself, so it's just an honor to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Have a good one.